In a small village on the outskirts of the city lived a man, Ramu. Ramu was a simple farmer, but his thinking and imagination were extraordinary. One night, he had a strange dream, a journey to heaven in which he was fully alive, experiencing a unique world in heaven. He saw that he received a unique welcome in heaven, and his every wish was fulfilled. When Ramu woke up in the morning, he began to believe his dream to be true. He thought that perhaps living in heaven and sharing the experience there could be the purpose of his life. He started preparing for the journey to heaven, breaking away from his everyday life. Ramu began to explore a difficult and mysterious path to reach heaven. He listened carefully to the stories and folklore he heard from the village elders and followed a magical path described in an old book. Following this path, Ramu discovered a mysterious cave which was known to be the door leading to heaven. When entering the cave, Ramu felt like he was entering a whole new world. Inside the cave, he found many mysterious signs and saw a glowing door. Upon opening the door, he entered a wonderful golden world where there was a feeling of beauty and peace all around. As he stepped into heaven for the first time, Ramu witnessed amazing sights. The residents of heaven invited him to attend a reception. The residents, who always had smiles on their faces, introduced him to the wonderful aspects of heaven. Walking in the gardens of heaven, Ramu saw that everything there was incredibly beautiful and infinite. He also found the fruits, flowers, and rivers here extraordinary. Ramu realized that every part of heaven was even better than his dreams. While living in heaven, Ramu soon realized that there are problems here too. The residents of heaven tell him that there is an unsatisfactory element in heaven too, which affects the peaceful life here. This unsatisfactory element is the desire and greed of human life, which destabilizes the peaceful atmosphere of heaven. Ramu realized that his stay here could be a mission to free the residents of heaven from this unsatisfactory element. He decided to understand the problems in heaven and find a solution to them. Ramu approached the sages and heads of heaven and sought their suggestions to solve the problems. They explained that a unique ritual was needed to overcome the unsatisfactoriness of heaven, in which every resident of heaven had to give up his desires and greed. Ramu began preparing for this ritual and held special classes to explain its importance to the residents of heaven. This ritual was to solve the problems of heaven and ensure a stable and peaceful life. Under Ramu's leadership, the inhabitants of heaven began to follow the ritual process. During the ritual, people dedicated themselves to giving up their desires and greed. The process was an experience of self-knowledge and self-acceptance. Ramu observed that the ritual brought peace and balance back into the lives of the inhabitants of heaven. He realized that the fruits of their hard work and dedication were now coming to fruition. A new energy and harmony was being infused in heaven. After the completion of the ritual, the atmosphere of heaven changed completely. People were now feeling more peaceful and content. Everything in heaven shone with a new radiance. Ramu saw that a new era was beginning in heaven, in which peace and prosperity was being established. The inhabitants of heaven thanked Ramu and considered him a great worker. They appreciated his hard work and commitment and gave him a special place in heaven. After his experience in heaven, Ramu realized that his time in heaven was over. He bid farewell to the inhabitants of heaven and started preparing for his return. While coming out of the door of heaven, he noticed that he had many invaluable learnings and experiences. Ramu wrote about his journey and shared his experiences after coming back to earth. He learned that the real beauty and peace of heaven lies not only in living in heaven, but also in establishing peace and balance in one's life. Ramu's life became an inspiration and he established a new definition of peace and balance in his village.
If you like this story, then subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories.